Wisdom Symphony.
Imagine this: you're about to step into a big meeting. It's a crucial moment, one you've been preparing for, and suddenly, a voice in your head whispers, "What if I fail?" Familiar, right? It's the voice that shows up uninvited, the one that makes you question everything. But here's the twist: what if I told you that this voice is not your enemy? In fact, it's the key to unlocking your true potential. Yep, the way you talk to yourself can either be your biggest hurdle or your greatest ally. Intrigued? Let's dive into the power of self-talk and how you can harness it to reprogram your subconscious mind for success. The silent influencer: how self-talk shapes your reality. We all have that inner dialogue running in the background, right? It's like that playlist on shuffle, playing without us even noticing. But the real kicker is that this internal chatter is doing more than just passing time. It's shaping your entire reality. Crazy, huh? Think about it. The words you say to yourself when no one's listening can either build you up or tear you down. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. What's the point? Sound familiar? These aren't just thoughts. They're commands that your subconscious mind follows. Now, let's get one thing straight: your subconscious doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. It just listens, takes notes, and acts accordingly. So, every time you tell yourself you're not capable, it's like hitting the pause button on your potential. But here's the exciting part: you can flip that switch. Instead of being held hostage by self-doubt, you can reprogram your subconscious with positive, empowering beliefs. It's not magic, it's science. Breaking the chains how negative self-talk holds you back. Let's face it, most of us are our own worst critics. You wouldn't speak to your best friend the way you sometimes speak to yourself, right? But somehow, when it comes to our internal dialogue, we give ourselves a pass to be brutal. But here's the truth: negative self-talk is like living with a bad roommate who constantly drags you down. Every time you tell yourself, "I'm not smart enough," "I'll never be successful," or "I always mess things up," you're reinforcing mental barriers. It's like adding bricks to a wall that stands between you and your dreams. This isn't just some motivational mumbo-jumbo, there's science to back it up. Neuroscientists have found that negative thoughts create neural pathways in the brain, making it easier for those thoughts to pop up again and again. It's a cycle. But the good news? You can break that cycle. You don't have to keep listening to that annoying negative roommate in your head. The subconscious mind, your life's operating system. Let's take a step back and talk about your subconscious mind for a second. Think of it like your phone's operating system. It runs all the apps in the background without you even realizing it. Everything from how you feel about yourself to how you react in certain situations is rooted in the programming of your subconscious. And here's the kicker: your subconscious mind doesn't care if the input is positive or negative. It just absorbs whatever you give it. That's why, if you've been feeding it negative self-talk, it's been quietly running that program, influencing your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your outcomes. But what if you could update the software? Rewire your brain so that your subconscious starts running a new, upgraded program, one that's aligned with your goals, dreams, and potential. Sounds like a game changer, right? It is, and it all starts with self-talk. The levels of self-talk from destructive to empowering. Now, not all self-talk is created equal. Let's break it down into levels so you can see where you're at and where you need to go. Level 1, destructive self-talk. This is the lowest level, where you're constantly doubting yourself. "I can't do this. I'm going to fail." It's like you're writing the script for your own failure before you even start. And the worst part? You might not even notice you're doing it. This level keeps you stuck in a loop, repeating the same patterns of self-sabotage. Level 2, I should, but I don't. Ever told yourself, I should work out more, or I need to stop procrastinating. This is the level where you recognize the problem, but aren't quite ready to commit to change. You know what you need to do, but you're still on the fence. It's like knowing you need to swim but staying on the shore. Level 3. Intentional self-talk. Here's where the magic starts. At this level, you begin to shift your inner dialogue from I should to I am. You tell yourself, I am capable, I no longer procrastinate, or I am focused. It's all about speaking in the present tense, signaling to your subconscious that the change is already happening. And guess what? Your brain starts to believe it. Level 4. Identity shifts. Now, we're talking about the big leagues. At this level, self-talk goes beyond what you do and starts shaping who you are. I am confident. I am organized. These aren't just affirmations, they're declarations about your identity. And when you start seeing yourself differently, your actions follow suit. Level 5. Spiritual self-talk. This is the most abstract level, where self-talk taps into something bigger than yourself. It's about connection, whether that's with the universe, God, or a higher consciousness. Affirmations like, I am one with the universe, bring a sense of purpose and flow into your life. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Start with levels 3 and 4 before diving into the spiritual stuff. You've got to crawl before you can fly, right? Reprogramming your subconscious, a step-by-step guide. Okay, now that we've covered the levels, let's talk about how you can start reprogramming your subconscious mind. Because, spoiler alert, it doesn't happen overnight. But with consistency, you can transform the way you think, feel, and act. Step 1. Awareness is key. The first step is becoming aware of your self-talk. You can't change what you don't notice, right? Start paying attention to the words you use when you talk to yourself. Are they empowering or limiting? Do they lift you up or drag you down? Step 2. Replace the negative. When you catch yourself thinking something negative like I can't do this, pause. Then replace it with a positive affirmation. Say, I am capable of handling this, even if you don't fully believe it yet. The goal here is repetition. The more you repeat it, the more your subconscious will accept it as truth. Step 3. Speak in the present tense. Your affirmations should always be in the present tense. Why? Because your subconscious mind doesn't respond to future goals, it responds to the present. So instead of saying, I will be successful, say, I am successful. Step 4. Be specific. Vague affirmations don't cut it. I am successful is great, but try to add more detail. Something like, I am consistently achieving my goals and creating value in my work sends a clearer message to your brain. Repetition is the secret sauce. All right, so we've covered the what and how, but here's a golden rule that you can't skip: repetition. Think of your subconscious like a garden. Whatever you plant, positive thoughts or negative ones, will eventually grow. But if you water those thoughts every day with consistent, intentional self-talk, the positive seeds will flourish, pushing out the weeds of doubt and fear. The key here is consistency. You wouldn't go to the gym once and expect to have a six-pack, right? Same goes for your mind. The more often you say empowering things to yourself, the more ingrained they become. You're literally reprogramming your brain, create new neural pathways, and training it to focus on success. Pretty cool, huh? Practical techniques for daily self-talk. Now, let's get to the fun part, the techniques. There are a few tried and true ways to practice positive self-talk every day, so you can make this a habit that sticks. 1. Silent self-talk. This is probably the easiest to start with because you're already doing it. It's that little voice in your head that comments on everything. The trick here is to become aware of when that voice turns negative. When it does, stop it in its tracks and replace it with something positive. Instead of, "I'll never get this right," say, "I'm learning and getting better every day." It may feel awkward at first, but trust me, it works. 2. Speak out loud. Hearing your own voice say positive affirmations is a powerful way to rewire your brain. Try standing in front of a mirror and saying things like, "I am confident," or "I achieve my goals effortlessly." It might feel strange at first, but this technique engages multiple senses, hearing and speaking, which makes it even more effective. 3. Write it down. There's something special about seeing your words on paper. Writing down your affirmations in a journal every day not only helps solidify them in your mind, but also gives you a record of your growth. Plus, you can revisit them whenever you're feeling stuck. You can even take it up a notch by putting your affirmations on sticky notes around your house, on your mirror, your fridge, or your computer screen, anywhere you'll see them regularly. That way, even if your mind drifts back to negativity, there's always a little reminder to pull you back. 4. Record yourself. This one's a game changer. Recording your affirmations and playing them back to yourself throughout the day is like having your personal cheerleader in your pocket. You can listen to these recordings while driving, exercising, or even as background noise. The more you hear your voice affirming your success, the deeper it will embed into your subconscious. Rewriting old scripts, breaking free from childhood conditioning. Let's get real for a second. A lot of the limiting beliefs we carry with us come from way back childhood, to be exact. We pick up these ideas from parents, teachers, or society, and over time, they become embedded in our subconscious. It's like installing outdated software on a brand new computer. Maybe you were told you're not smart enough or you'll never be successful. These messages stick, and even as adults, we find ourselves living out those old scripts. The good news? You have the power to rewrite them. It's like going into the settings of your mind and deleting the programs that no longer serve you. The first step is identifying these old beliefs. What's holding you back? What negative self-talk comes up when you're faced with a challenge? Once you're aware of it, you can start replacing those old scripts with new, empowering beliefs. It's a process, but with patience and persistence, you can break free from those chains. The science behind it: neuroplasticity in action. You might be wondering, does this really work, or is it just a bunch of feel-good talk? Well, science is on your side here. The concept we're tapping into is called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to change and reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your life. When you practice positive self-talk, you're essentially rewiring your brain. Think of your thoughts as paths through a forest. Every time you think a certain way, you walk down the same path, making it clearer and easier to follow. Negative thoughts? They've probably carved out a superhighway in your brain. But with positive self-talk, you can start forging new paths. And the more you walk those new paths, the more your brain will prefer them. So yes, it's real. You're not just thinking happy thoughts. You're literally changing your brain's structure and creating a mindset that supports success. How self-talk influences your energy and vibe. Ever walked into a room and instantly felt the vibe? Like you could just tell if the energy was off or positive? That's not just intuition, it's real. And guess what? Your self-talk directly affects the energy you project. When you talk to yourself negatively, you lower your own energy. You walk into situations feeling small, unsure, and doubtful. But when you practice positive self-talk, you boost your energy, your confidence, and your presence. People can feel that energy. You start attracting better opportunities, relationships, and experiences because you're radiating positivity and self-assurance. It's like tuning into a radio station when your self-talk is negative. You're on a frequency that pulls in more negativity. But when you start speaking to yourself in a positive, uplifting way, you tune into a frequency that attracts success and abundance. common pitfalls, and how to avoid them. Now, let's be real, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Reprogramming your subconscious mind takes time, and along the way, you'll likely hit some roadblocks. But don't worry, these are totally normal and fixable. 1. Falling back into old patterns. Even with the best intentions, it's easy to slip back into negative self-talk. Maybe you're having a bad day or something doesn't go as planned, and boom, you're back to thinking, I knew I'd messed this up. The key here is not to beat yourself up. Catch the thought, acknowledge it, and replace it with something positive. It's like pulling a weed before it has a chance to spread. 2. Impatience. You might want instant results, but just like going to the gym, mental reprogramming takes time. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small victories along the way and trust that the change is happening, even if you can't see it immediately. 3. Overwhelm. Starting this journey can feel like a lot. There's so much to unlearn and relearn. But remember, you don't have to change everything overnight. Focus on one area of your life at a time. Start small, maybe with one negative belief, and work on rewriting it. Small steps lead to big changes. The power of I am affirming your new reality. There's something incredibly powerful about the words I am. These two little words are like the architects of your identity. Whatever follows, I am becomes part of your reality. I am strong. I am successful. I am deserving of love and happiness. These aren't just feel-good statements, they're blueprints for your subconscious to follow. Every time you say I am, you're telling your brain, this is who I am, and this is how I live. And your brain? It listens. It starts aligning your thoughts, actions, and decisions with that identity. So, choose your I am statements wisely. Make sure they reflect the person you want to be, not the person you're leaving behind. At the end of the day, self-talk isn't just about boosting your mood or getting through a tough day. It's about transforming your entire life from the inside out. The way you speak to yourself creates the foundation for everything: your relationships, your career, your health, your happiness. So, what are you telling yourself right now? Are you speaking words that uplift and inspire you? Or are you tearing yourself down with doubt and fear? Remember, your subconscious mind is always listening, always taking notes. You have the power to reprogram it, to speak life and success into your future. Start today. Begin with one positive affirmation, one shift in your internal dialogue, and watch how your life begins to change. The power of self-talk is already within you. Now it's time to use it.